It takes an anxious person to tame an avoidant one. So, why do I say that? To start, anxious and avoidant types are often intensely drawn to each other. From the perspective of their attachment styles, their behavioral patterns and personalities are almost perfectly complementary. The anxious type is bursting with energy, while the avoidant is independent and stable. Each sees in the other a missing piece of themselves. They hit it off immediately, a seemingly perfect match. But while their outward styles differ, at their core, they both carry a deep-seated feeling of being unloved. As the relationship progresses, it devolves into two giant babies fighting. In the anxious-avoidant dynamic, the anxious partner is usually the one driving the emotional output, while the avoidant seems gentle and compliant. The avoidance appeal lies in their strong boundaries and non-confrontational demeanor. The anxious partner, on the other hand, is attractive for their lively, open nature. When they meet, it's like looking in a mirror and seeing their own vulnerabilities. To be blunt, they're both in love with a fantasy, an idealized version of the other. They aren't in love with the real person, but are seeing them through a filter. Avoidants are far more calculating than anxious types. They have a keen sense for danger. When an avoidant senses the anxious partner's deep need for reassurance, a demand they feel they can't meet, their defense mechanisms instantly activate. They sever all emotional connection and become incapable of empathy. Why? Because protecting themselves becomes more important than considering their partner's feelings. In their mind, you are not the perfect partner, and the relationship has no future. Avoidants generally lack problem-solving skills in relationships. For them, dating is primarily an act of self-preservation, but the anxious partner's filter remains firmly in place. They are still stuck in the beautiful fantasy from the relationship's early days, dreaming of spending their life with the avoidant. They tell themselves, they're so wonderful, just misunderstood. If we just communicate better, we can fix this. They desperately want to return to the honeymoon phase. So they keep pushing, seeking answers, all while suffering, blaming themselves, overthinking constantly, and crying their eyes out. The anxious partner projects their ideals of love onto the avoidant, willing to invest endlessly in exchange for affection. But the avoidant, incapable of truly trusting others, sees this affection as a transaction. They interpret the anxious partner's love as a form of demand and calculation, and thus cannot accept it, especially when it comes with a side of insecurity and fear of loss. So you have two insecure attachment styles together. When the avoidant feels unsafe, they shut down and withdraw. When the anxious feels unsafe, their mind races and they demand answers. This ignites the classic pursuer-distancer dynamic. Both desperately need a partner who can accept them and empower them, yet neither can provide it. Interestingly, after their relationship ends, it's often the anxious partner who has the potential to become a secure type. The intense love they have for the avoidant forces them into deep self-reflection, leading to continuous self-adjustment and growth. The process, however, is painful and takes a very long time.